Hi and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Mathilde, I'm a French knitter and today I'm going to talk about my winter knitting plans. So to start off with, I just want to quickly talk about what I'm wearing, which is my jacket number 2. This is a pattern by My Favorite Things Knitwear, which I've cast on late July and when it came out, and I finished around October, November with like a month off knitting because of my tendonitis, and yeah, I love it. I can show you quickly, but I am still wearing my pajama pants. This is what it's looking like. It is very oversized, but it is lovely. I will talk more about this one in my next podcast because in the last podcast I had finished it, but it didn't have buttons and I hadn't blocked it yet. So now it's truly done, and yeah. I thought this time around we could do things a little bit differently. So definitely let me know your thoughts about what I'm going to should be showing you and how we're doing this time. Let me know if you like this type of mood boarding, or if you would rather we go back to how we did it previously, which was just briefly talk about all of the patterns that we wanted to do. So I'm going to have my laptop next to me, so if I look to the right, it's because I'm looking at what you're seeing on the screen. But yeah, I usually like to make a mood board of all of the knits that I want to make in the next 3 to 4 months on LeKnit. This isn't sponsored, I just like using it. I'm on the free plan, so you can add the app on your laptop too, or just use the online version to make a mood board of, you know, anything really. But being on the free plan, you don't have as many images that you can put as, you know, if you paid for it. So I think I've got like 100 that I can make, that I can use, which is enough for me to do my knitting mood board. So what you're seeing now is the mood board that I made for fall, and there are a few additions to the patterns that I mentioned in my last fall knitting plans because of, you know, life. Sometimes things fall into your lap, whether you thought about them previously or not, or if you fall in love with a pattern or anything like that. So we're just briefly going to talk about what I ended up adding and what I ended up finishing and what I'm going to bring into this winter. Obviously we've got my jacket number 2. This one I am finished with it, so we can remove it from the mood board, but this was my favorite knit this season, so that was the best for me to knit on. Then I have finished my Friday sleepover by Petite Knit. This was a knit that I had started a year ago, and I frogged, and then I took it with me on my trip to Japan, and I finished it a couple of weeks after that when I came back, which is really nice. It was finished late fall though, so I haven't worn it a bunch just because the weather has gotten colder, but I'm hoping for spring I'm going to be wearing it a lot. But we can remove it as well. Then we have got a test knit that I did for my friend Sandra from Endormie, which was the hair down headband. I haven't shown it yet on the podcast, so be on the lookout for that in the next couple of weeks, but I have finished it and it was a great test knit. It was a great knit at all, and it is done, so we can remove it as well. And then the other one that I added was a pair of fingerless gloves for my partner. He asked me to knit something for him because he can be quite cold here in the flat, and he wanted to have some. So they weren't really planned, and then I got the opportunity to work with Hobby for a video, so they sent that yarn to me for free, but they are done as well. So again, we can remove them, so it means we've got quite a few spots on the mood boards. And then lastly we have the book club cardigan, which was or which is, because it's still on my needles, but it is a gift knit for a friend, and I am powering through the second sleeve, so it's still on my needle, but I'm not really going to count it as being my winter knitting plans because I'm hoping to be done with it in the next couple of weeks. So we're going to remove it, but technically it's still on the needles. And then on the knits that I have started, which are on my needles right now, we have the Porcelain Sweater, which I'm not going to show you again. If you want to see more of my current whips, be on the lookout for my next knitting podcast, or else you can look at the last one, or you can look at some vlogs. I'm doing Vlogmas this year, and I am showing you everything I knit on. But yeah, it is still on my needles. This is going to be a slow knit. It's not on my priority at all, but I like having it on the go, on the side, whenever I have a little bit of time. I did have a trouble with the chart on the back, which I had to frog, and I haven't picked it back up since then, so, you know. But we are going to keep it. For now, I'm going to put it on the side, and then we'll see where it falls. I'm also going to rename this winter, spring. The reason why I'm calling this spring is because I know that I'm not going to get everything that's on the mood board done in the next 3 months. I know that some of them are going to sprinkle into spring. So yeah, but they're not going to be my spring knitting plans, if that makes sense. Okay, then we have this zipper sweater light men, which I want to knit for my partner, but I want to be finished with the book club cardigan before I do that, but it is going to be on my winter knit list. I don't think I'm going to rush and try to finish it before the end of winter, because by the time it's late winter, he won't be wearing it, because it will be too warm outside for him to be wearing such a warm sweater. But I do have the yarn for it, so I'll show you. I've not cast this on yet, but I have made my swatch, which meant that I could see if I wanted to knit the light version or the regular version. I think I'm leaning towards the light version because the swatch looks better in that. But I'm going to be using Gilead by Derontura in the Merlot colorway, which is this very trendy color, which is going to fit him perfectly and which I love. So I can't wait to cast this on, but I don't want to have 2 big gift knits on my needles at the same time. So I'm definitely going to wait until I finish the book club cardigan. Gilead is a 100% wool, and it is 100 grams for 250 meters. And I think I've got about 7 balls of this, which should be plenty, hopefully, for a men's sweater. If it's not, I'll just buy some more, but I think that's what I saw that I needed. I could show you the swatch, but it is on my swatch board, so yeah. But I am very excited to have this on my needles, to have a simple stockinette project, although I am dreading the color, which I know is going to be taking a long time, and I am also dreading putting the zipper in, because I know it's not that tricky, but it is scary. So yeah, that's one of my plans. Then what I still have on my needles is the Cashmere Beanie by Gregoria fiber. I am using a yarn by Cardiff Cashmere called Classic, which is 100% cashmere. It's still on my needles. It is taking a while. It is half twisted rib, and it's not my priority knit, so I'm still on the bottom part of the hat. So hopefully I can get it done before the end of winter. That's the goal. Then what we have on the right, I've not cast on yet, so we'll talk about them a little bit later, but I do want them still on my mood board. Okay, now on Millinut, what's great is that you can add some pictures that you want to use in your mood board, but you're not sure yet what you want to say. So they're in this unsorted pile, and this is where you can see some of my current plans, which were not on my full knitting mood boards. So the first one are these Home for Christmas socks, which are the cutest thing ever. If you've seen my latest vlogs, you'll know that I cast this on because I saw Paige from Two Bells in a Pod in Paris for about 2 or 3 weeks, and she fell in love with these socks and wanted me and her to knit on them as like a sort of a knit along together. So I am on my first sock. I've just started this morning the foot of the sock, and I am loving it. And I'm hoping to be done before Christmas, but to be honest, it is the 14th of December and I'm still not done with the first one, so maybe not. But I love knitting on these and I'm so excited to have these on my mood board. I won't be putting on my mood board the yarns for this because it's like 3 skeins and I'm basically using about the same colours as in the picture, so I think it's okay. I'm using Filcolana Arwetta in the colours 147 for the green, 101 for the white, and I think 139 for the red, but everything will be in the description box down below. And if it's not, definitely leave me a comment and ask me anything and I'll answer. The next pattern that is already on my needles as well is a test knit, another one for my friend Flaminia from Knitting Flam over here on YouTube. This is her first pattern called the Sandro Pullover. It is an Oliver cabled jumper, quite classic, quite Ralph Lauren looking, which I really love. I really wanted to test knit this for her when she first posted about, you know, wanting to have a test knit going and to release that design, and so I was very, very thankful when she chose me to test knit this. So I've cast this on about a week ago. Again, I won't show it to you because that will be in my next podcast, but you can see it all in the vlogs. I am on the back panel, I'm almost done, and I can't wait to pick up for the shoulders. And so this is the Sandro pullover. This is her gorgeous one in the Drops Daisy in like a pink color. My words are failing me today, but I am using Gynt in this beautiful poppy colorway. I think the number is 4008. I'm just going to crop the picture a little bit because I don't necessarily want the name of that colorway in my mood board. This is how we do it. And then I'm gonna shrink it a little bit, but I'm gonna put it here. So that is my technically main whip of the start of the season. The deadline is for the beginning of February, so I've still got quite a lot of time, but I would like to be done with the yoke of that sweater before the end of, or before Christmas hopefully, or like before the new year. I think that will be done. And it is such a fast knit on. Actually, I've got the yarn here so I can show it to you. Actually, I've got all of the yarn here in this huge bag because it's easier for me to show it to you. So I can show you the yarn here. This is Gynt in that poppy colorway. And Gynt is 100% Norwegian wool, and it is 50 grams for 91 meters. So I've got about 15 skeins. I think I bought one more than the pattern recommended just to be sure I had enough. Also because I wasn't sure how many swatches I was going to make. I ended up making 2. But yeah, I'm very excited to have this on the needles, and hopefully it will be done early winter, around February. Then I would like to cast on, which I've not done so, this Charlie pullover, which has been in my plans for ages, for more than a year. I've had the yarn in my stash for a while. Derram Natura Ulysse in the colorway Amarante, held with Knitting for Olive soft silk mohair in the colorway Bordeaux, yeah. And obviously love this color. I love that it kind of matches Gilead. It's not the same one. This is Merlot and this is Amarante. There was Amarante as well in the Gilead, but my partner wanted this darker one. But I love that we can sort of be matching. Wouldn't that be so cute? It's not really focusing on the yarn. But yeah. I tried to cast this on my birthday, but you need, basically it's a Judy's Magic cast on, so I needed a really long cable, which I didn't have, so I tried on a smaller cable and I did the cast on correctly, but then when I continued on with the pattern, I did that on the wrong side, so instead of having that seamless look of the Judy's Magic cast on, I had the pearl bump side on the right side. So I frogged and I haven't had the courage to cast it on, and instead I cast on the Sandro pullover. Since this was a test knit, it just made more sense to cast this on instead. But I would like to cast this on before the end of the year and have this on my needles. Again, I really am craving a little bit of stockinette. I love the Sandro pullover because even though it's cable, the cable, its row itself isn't very frequent, so it's still kind of mindless, but it is a test knit, so I do have to, you know, pay attention to how the pattern is written, to the numbers of everything, and yeah. But I'm loving the Charlie pullover, so I can't wait to cast it on and to have this in my wardrobe. And then again, this is like an accessory. We'll see about that a little bit later. Then I am in love with the Solene cardigan. I've been in love since it came out. I just haven't had either the yarn or just the space in my needles to cast it on. Honestly, if I could, I would potentially cast this on before the Charlie pullover. However, I've had the yarn in my stash for the Charlie pullover for so long that it just makes sense for me to cast this on before. But I am in love with that pattern. This is a pattern by LeKnit. It's, I think, a simple... I haven't really talked about construction, have I? Okay, let me talk about this one and then we'll jump back to the other ones. But this one, I think, is a simple drop shoulder cardigan with some ties instead of buttons to close the cardigan. It's double knitted button band, tie band, I don't know what you would call it, with very short ribbing on the hems of the body and the sleeves. And I'm just in love with it. I think it's going to be a staple in my wardrobe, very easy to style with jeans or over a dress, and I want it in my wardrobe so bad. I do have one of the yarn for it, but not the other one. So this was meant to be knit either with a La Mana yarn, I don't remember which one, or with Porcelain by Garn, held with Cashmere lace by Garn. Now, I bought some Knitting for Olive compatible cashmere in their cream colorway. Which is 150 meters for 25 grams, and it is 100% cashmere. I'm gonna buy Porcelain by Garn. I've put it on my Christmas wish list, so maybe I'll get it for Christmas, we'll see. And if I don't, I'll buy it in January to be able to make the Solene cardigan, which I think would look stunning in a white. Honestly, I could see also myself knitting it in that burgundy colorway, which is really popular at the moment. But I've got this in my stash, so I would like to use it. So that is the Solene cardigan. Let me add the yarns that I would like to use. This is... you got a sneak peek here. This is the Porcelain that I would like. So I'm gonna crop it again. So that one I don't have in my stash, but maybe for Christmas. And if not, I don't mind buying a yarn to hold with something else that I do have in stash, if that makes sense. And then the cream, which does look a bit more grey, I feel like, on screen. So that's already 5 garments and 2 accessories. So that's a lot. That's why I said it's also a little bit going into spring. I feel like the Solene cardigan would be perfect for spring, so if I don't get around to it in the winter, I don't mind, you know, starting it late February, early March would be great to finish around April or May. Now, I do have some other accessories that I would like to make. The next one is the Sophie hood, or the My Jose hood by Northgard, something like that. This one is by Petite Knit. It's just released yesterday, and the reason why I would like to potentially cast this on, I'm not 100% yet. Again, I've not decided between the 2 hoods, but I really wanted to start a scarf, like a brioche scarf, which with the yarn that I have in stash, but I feel like it would just make more sense to knit a hood with a scarf attached, because it's just one knit, but very warm. I've been really knitting a scarf, and I've never knitted myself one, so now would be the time. And I do have one skein left of Eco Cashmere Vintage, which I bought last year for a gift knit, which was the Sophie shawl by Putting It for my aunt. I bought 3 skeins, ended up knitting using just 2, so I have one left over. I thought maybe for the Sophie hood I could get away with just buying 1 or 2, but for the size medium, which is I think the one that I would like, I would need to buy 3. So that would be very expensive. So that's why I'm not 100%, but I'll show you. It's wound up, but I've got 50 grams left in this really dark brown, chocolate brown. This is 180, I think, Eco Cashmere Vintage. And I really, it is very soft. It would be lovely. I could just buy 2 and make the size small, but I feel like it wouldn't be as warm and I would just regret it and potentially just knit another one in the size medium, and I feel like that would be kind of a waste of the smaller one. So let me know if you think I should cast this on, which one I should cast on, the Sophie hood or the My Jose hood. I think the second one uses more yarn. I think I would need to buy the amount for the large Sophie hood, which would be even more. So that's why I'm not 100% on that one. Okay, then you can see here I've got a hot water bottle. This is the Hottie Sweater bottle cover by Polar Strict, which is made out of boucle yarn, which I do have 2 skeins of in my stash. This is Teddy Dear by Garn in the cutaway white or cream. It's a 101. And this is 50% merino wool, muslin free, and 40% alpaca superfine, and 10% PA. Polyamide, I'm guessing? I'm not sure. The reason why I would like to cast this on rather than the other one I'm going to show you is because I would like to practice continental knitting with this project. I think if for some reason my tension changed whilst knitting it, it's a hot water bottle cover, it doesn't matter as much. Also, this is boucle yarn, probably won't show, maybe a little bit, but you know. So maybe this one, or, and I also have yarn in the stash for that, it would be the Maxine hot water bottle cover by Laura Penrose, which is obviously very, very pretty. I won't put the colours in that yet because I haven't taken a picture of the yarn and I haven't found one online, but I'm thinking I want to use this mini decay set that I bought earlier this year by Olivia and Olivia Fibers. This is from her Endless Autumn collection. So these are 5 mini skeins, 75% superwash merino wool and 25% nylon, 45 meters for 20 grams. I think I could hold this double and get enough yardage for the colorwork. I'll need to check, but I think that should be enough. And these are really, really pretty. I love that. And for the main color, I'm thinking I have 2 options from stash. I do have some leftover Peer Gynt in the colorway Almond. Which is DK weight, and oh well, this is DK weight. I don't need to hold this double. What am I saying? Yeah, I do have this leftover from my storm sweater, or I have leftover double Sunday by Sandnes Garn. Both of these are by Sandnes Garn in the colorway 1012, which I think was whipped cream, from my Marseille sweater. The label is like wrecked. I think the Peer Gynt might be a bit too close to that one, so I'm not sure that it's going to pop as much, so I'm thinking the double Sunday. Again, I'll have to check the yardage, but I do have one ball which is what is the amount? 108 meters and a little bit left over. And for the Gynt, I do have, I think, one and a half ball. So let me know which one do you think looks better. This or this? But I think that would be such a great project. I am knitting my first pair of colorwork socks, which are the Home for Christmas socks by Renarde Endormie. Did I mention that? I don't think I did. By Renarde Endormie, which have been so fun to knit on, such a great project. And I think I love colorwork, and I think for a hot water bottle cover it would be great. Right now my hot water bottle cover is a store-bought one, which isn't very lovely. I do have my hot water bottle with me because it's cold and I've got cramps. But anyways, so yeah, that's it for the other accessory. I'm gonna wait until I've finished either my cashmere beanie or my socks before I cast this on, but I would like to cast either one of these on quite soon. So let me know which one you think I should do. I'm gonna rearrange my mood board now because I don't love it. So we do have to change the colors in the mood board here a little bit. I think we can definitely, I mean, we do still have some white, red, merlot and some green, but I think I need to add also, which you just get the pipe here, the thing, and I'll just add some bright red because we do have some red in here. Anyway, I'll show you the finished mood board, and yeah, let's talk just a little bit more about construction because I forgot. The Porcelain Sweater is a pattern by Lene Holme Semse, and it is a drop shoulder colorwork sweater. You do start knitting it flat for the back panel, and then you pick up for the shoulders, knit the front panel flat as well, and then you join in the round and knit in the round. So you do have two sections of colorwork which are knitted flat. I haven't found that to be an issue for myself, but it is a little bit scary at first. Then for the Zipper Sweater Light Man, this is a simple raglan, quite oversized sweater. The Sandro pullover is a drop shoulder design with Oliver cable design, which, as I've mentioned, you start shaping the back panel with increases. And then I don't know because I haven't finished, but it's just a regular drop shoulder. And then for the Sandro pullover, it is a raglan. You start knitting the collar, I think, which is why it's a little bit tricky at first, but the pattern is really lovely so far. I really enjoy it. And then it's a raglan, quite oversized sweater. Those are all of my winter knitting plans. I do try not to, you know, have too much on my mood board, but 5 garments is quite a lot. I'm never gonna finish all of those. The priority is the Sandro pullover since this is a test knit, and then I would also really love to knit the socks and finish them before the end of the year, hopefully, so that I can wear them while it's still a little bit Christmassy. And then the Charlie pullover, because it's been on my wish list for so long, I really want to cast this on. So those are the priority, and then the accessories are just going to be secondary. But yeah, those are all of my winter knitting plans. Let me know if you would like to knit any of these as well, or if you have any other plans. How many garments do you have on your wish list over the next few weeks? Or are you quite monogamous and only have one pattern at a time? This can be quite overwhelming, but I just want to knit all of the things, and obviously we can't. So I'm really trying to pick and choose which one I really want in my wardrobe and which one I'm really going to be able to use and which color are more suited for me. Not necessarily in terms of skin tone, but just things that I can pair with jeans or t-shirts that I already have in my wardrobe. And if I can envision myself wearing them with what I've got in my wardrobe, it just makes sense for me to cast this on. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments whether you enjoyed mood boarding with me, and if you would like to see more videos like that. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.